Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Ixion. This is the game that we are having a look at today. I love this game, it's fantastic, and currently it's on sale at the moment, so if you do find it to be cool, then you can also pick it up yourself. It's made by Bulwark Studios, I believe, the guys who made 40K Mechanicus. Very different, but also very solid. Both great games in their own right. This gets put in the same sentence as Frostpunk a lot, which I think is a fair comparison, even though the trappings are different. This is a different form of sci-fi, much more hard sci-fi, not really post-apocalyptia, but still like a survival colony builder with a huge narrative component as opposed to sort of freeform sandbox. Anyway, it's a fantastic game. Let's jump in and have a look and see if it's something that tickles your fancy. This difficulty update is something that got added the other day, along with this sale, right? This is the newest thing, because the game did get a little bit of backlash because it is quite difficult, but we'll just go default, which I assume is the same launch difficulty, which I thought was great. Yeah, what a wonderful game, and very much hard sci-fi, on the edge of sci-fi. The setup, well, I don't necessarily want to steal the game's thunder, is I think you're about to test the next form of travel drive on a space station. And then all of the drama ensues from there.
Launch control, we have Tiqqun clearance for shuttle launch. Initiate Stanford protocol.
Clear procedures, check.
Soundtrack is just as phenomenal. What's his name? Like Guillermo David or something like that? I can't quite remember. He's never done anything except the soundtrack for this and the last game, which makes me think that he's just some staffer. Nothing against the guy, of course. I think he's just some dude on staff that's like, I'm just gonna make a banging soundtrack. The Mechanicus soundtrack is highly coveted, like people love that. And they use all the churchy space organs in so many YouTube videos. And the soundtrack in this is just as awesome. Bit more understated. Yeah, absolute bangers. Very quickly become a studio that whatever it is they release next, I'll play. You know? I don't even care what it is or sight unseen. So it's good to have them on that list of studios. Of course it's called Karen. It's almost uninventive. Anything that ferries you from one point to a place in a video game, let's call the boat Karen. Let's call the driver Karen. Okay. We read a book once. So that's the Tiqqun, this super station. Look at it.
You have clearance for final approach.
So I don't want to necessarily get too ahead of myself. We can only cover so much. The first, half hour or so, it serves as a bit of an intro prologue, where it teaches you the mechanics of building buildings within these sort of sectors and powering and repairing and all this sort of stuff. As you gear up as the administrator of this ship, getting ready to do like its first maiden voyage test jump to take some scientific samples, right? And again, it's a relatively early turn. Something goes wrong. And you find yourself off mission, more of a people adrift, struggling to survive in another. So that you end up acting outside of your ship's purview, which is really cool.
But until then, please continue to wait.
Kind of makes me think of something like Battlestar Galactica, the reimagined series, right? How they find themselves on the run, and even though they're like a military ship primarily, they're trying to adapt to this unusual survival scenario that wasn't part of their sort of purview. This game does the same sort of thing.
I have been designed to take into consideration your complete psychological profile, so
good.
that I may more accurately respond to any needs you may have.
Get rid of
My
this.
primary purpose is to ensure the Tiqqun's automated systems function efficiently. I will keep track of the tasks that are necessary for you to...
Thank you, Robot Lady. We might zip through a bit of this again. I'm here to give you an idea of what the game's about. Not strictly sit through half an hour of texts.
I'm DOLOS' cryonics lead. Marduk council member Giovanni Battista.
Alright, we get it. You're eating into the comms.
Your first now. In order to achieve this, you'll need to familiarize yourself with the Tiqqun's core functions. It's no big deal. There's the production, stockpiling, and distribution.
Alright, build a workshop. I'm sure I can figure that out, right?
Balancing of power output with allocation.
Build a workshop.
And space exploration, you know.
I don't know, let's just stick one there.
And all that. Basically, everything needed to establish scientific advancement and harmonious autonomy on board the Tiqqun following the first test of its Vol engine.
The Vol engine, that's what it's all about.
Keep track of your main objectives. Oh, and Administrator, don't let the position go to your head. Veneer has insisted to center DOLOS' focus on the Tiqqun. But this mission is just in preparation for our next project. The Protagoras.
The Protagoras,
Marduk
correct.
Council worked damn hard to pull this mission together ahead of schedule. So, toe the line, do as you're told, and bring the Tiqqun back in one piece. Leave the grand gestures and saving of mankind from ecosystemic destruction to us, okay?
Sure.
One last word of advice. We don't all think like Veneer DOLOS. As of yet, no human law has been officially established amongst the stars. That sounds like an opportunity knocking to me.
Okay, right. So we're sort of, you know, a test. Like, even though we've got a lot of responsibility, we're not exactly the guy, right? We're just setting all this up and getting it ready to go, right? Anyway, so we've built this, which is where your little worker constructor bot, singular, comes from. It's got power draw and worker requirement, and you can build more of them to build more. And then this is a stockpile, right? And it wants us to set it to alloy. You can see automatically we've got little dudes, little workers allocated to move the alloy around. And this actually becomes a significant part of your logistics chain, right? Is moving things from point A to point B. You can see here we're within this fixed view, but the ship is this, well, I suppose you could say hexagonal, right? It looks like it's got 6 sectors, right? You can scroll, but you can't really get to them. But essentially, you get to a point where you want to open the sector up at great cost. Anyway, if we do this, we're going to flag them to be gathered and collected into the alloy thing. Oh, there you go. They just want us to collect up all the alloy. I can do that.
I have established a connection with DOLOS' lead data scientist, Emma Klein.
Maybe we'll just go through the dialogue, because honestly, it's good. I like it.
DOLOS has made it abundantly clear when it comes to security. Given the importance of the Tiqqun, we must have full control over what is happening inside the station. My name is Emma Klein, DOLOS' lead data scientist and member of the Marduk Council. My department have just completed final synchronization between Eden and our data treatment tool, the DLS. The DLS, or Data Listening System, is capable of scanning, recording, and parsing exchanges of any kind. The DLS programming that is a part of Eden will filter all data collected and bring to your attention only the most relevant information. It will also provide you with a condensed overview of any situations that may arise and formulate potential future outcomes. It will permit you to give direct orders without having to go through additional unnecessary paperwork. Eden
Well, that sounds very considerate. Thank you, Emma.
Their DLS accreditation, as is often the case with tools produced by my department. I think you'll find that once you start using the DLS, you'll never be able to do without it. Oh, and before I let you go ahead and start writing history, Dr. Munchie, our lead medical expert, wanted me to bring to your attention a possible side effect of vol jumping. Whilst there's a correlation between
Just pause it real quickly there. You can see that they're bringing the resources to them to fill that, and now this is the construction bar. You can see this bloke. I believe.
Space
No.
travel and the development of
Where is
Earth
he? There he is there. This little power loader
beyond
dude.
that dimension.
He's what
He
comes out of
believes
the
that a
workshop,
whole jump has
right?
the potential to accelerate
So if we've got
the
multiple
process.
tasks like this queued up, the way around that would be having multiple little power loader houses, right? But for now,
Although
one's
this
going
is
to do
yet
us
be
fine.
proven. His recommendation is for you to immediately send any crew members that are exhibiting uncharacteristic or symptomatic behavior to an infirmary, as these facilities are equipped to treat the mind as well as the body. Remember that all of your actions and choices are being recorded by Eden. We are not affiliated with any national or even international organization. The only people that you are answerable to are those of us who sit on the Marduk Council, who represent the collective interests and ambitions of the company.
Right. So we're sitting in this weird space of, not necessarily state or government controlled civilian undertaking. It's kind of cool. Got an event available. Communal dining. Administrator, Tiqqun crew members are currently unable to access food supplies. Nyakond protocols direct the construction of a mess hall. This building is designed to distribute food from our stockpiles to our crew. Guaranteeing access to blah blah blah. Sure, I can do that. Why can't I do that? Place down a mess hall construction site. Let's have a look here. Food. Mess hall. I reckon we could squeeze one of those right in here. That sounds pretty good. It's all a bit ramshackle. But again, this video, or at least the intention of it, is to be more of an overview. Give you guys the broad strokes of what's going on. Not necessarily get into the idiosyncrasies, my favourite word, of how everyone builds their own colony base. Everyone has their own weird rule set. I'm no different, but for the moment I'm just going to trigger people by slapping things down. Well, slapdash.
Administrator,
I don't know, let's pop this
I
here.
have an incoming transmission from Marduk Council member Henry Bargeville.
Oh, good old Henry.
Bonjour, Administrator.
Hello,
What
Henry.
a wonderful day to
Philosopher.
embrace your faith, don't you think? I'm Henri Bargeville, writer, philosopher,
Feed 100 crew at the mess hall.
Most of all, member of the Marduk Council. I have taken the liberty of personal.
I'll pause you real quick there, Henry. The mess hall, from what I understand, here you go, at 4.5 cycles, it will service crew. 1 food feeds 10 crew members. So 9 food is required to feed all 85 of our crew. You can see we've got 85 there, right? At 1 per 10. Meal is served every 5 cycles. Yeah, so when it ticks over, it should do it. And that's what that tick is. It's saying, yes, you do in fact have the food reserves. You can see it doing all the math up here for you. I believe the amount of crew that the mess hall can service. Oh, here you go. Up to 500 crew. So beyond that, you'd need more service points. So it's pretty straightforward. Sorry, Henry, I should let you talk.
Belonging to one of our commercial allies, the Ashtongites. Even though they are a small organization, the Ashtongites are important partners who share the same pragmatic, moralistic, and spiritual outlook as we do. The Ushanabi will provide us with a source of food while carrying out the Tiqqun's initial testing. By making it the first exclusive trade partner of the Tiqqun, we will demonstrate to our long-term allies that DOLOS wishes for them to share in our successes. Please assign a cargo ship so that we can check the trade routines.
Okay.
Administrator, trust in genetic connectors. Self-similar space will reveal the pattern.
Sure. Yeah, why not, man? So he's waxing He's waxing philosophy. Very good. Quarters. Administrator, some crew are lacking quarters. During human history, unnecessary homelessness has always been an indicator of civilizational decay. Oh, don't we know it? Do not reproduce the basic mistake. That's fine. Sure. Ensure all crew are quartered in 12 cycles. Right. And we've seen this in Frostpunk. You can take on this extra burden to get essentially like a boost. You can put it off to, not risk it. So let's not drop the ball here. Population. You can see here we've got an infirmary. But I suppose what we really want is this crew quarters. Oh, looks like we can fit one right there. Now what can you tell me about the crew quarters, game? Crew quarters houses up to 15 crew members. Provide quarters for the crew 85. Oh, I don't have any quarters at all. Alright, well that's 15. Let's go 30. Oh, I was going to put it over here. Hang on. Oh, I might be able to... Oh, let's put it there. That'll really upset some people. Alright. Yeah. 60. 75. And, put that there for good measure. That'll do for the moment. So, what he wants us to do is talk to the Urshanabi. It's another spaceship, right? Construct a cargo ship in the docking bay. Construct a science ship in the docking bay. Alright, well, we can do that. So, here's a cargo ship. And here's a science ship. So now we got some things to do. I'm not sure what we needed that for. Probably more alloy, but we'll leave it blank for the moment. Oh, looks like... Yeah. Alloy it is. You can see it went red when we maxed out too. The UI is just so usable as well. Oh, you know, if you know anything about me and the channel, I'm a bit sweaty for UI design. Right, so we've got the cargo ship, and you can see that what we have available to us is 12 food. I mean, we can tag all the things, but ultimately, we're just going to tag the food, right? But I think if we went to F3 view, we can see outer space here. And there is the Urshanabi there. Supply ship. And our cargo ship will just continue to do supply runs automatically, I believe. What's going on over here? Waiting for science ship. Oh, don't get ahead of yourself, Scarlet. We're waiting for the science ship to get built. You silly sausage. Oh yeah, give me some of that music. There we go, we've fed the crew, so that's good. Let's get rid of these bumps. Oh, what's this? Health. There are no active health buildings in Sector 1. Well, maybe we'll fix that, hey? Let's get an active health building. This one would be perfect. So there's our science ship getting built. So if I click on the moon, no, waiting for science ship. Oh, I think the science ship has to be there. So if we click on the Stanford and we go, please go to the moon for us, mate. Resolve the moon event on the planetary system. There we go. Off it goes.
The science ship has arrived at its destination.
Wonderful. Moon abandoned base. Summary of intelligence. The base is out of commission. Yep. Reach the UN base. Exploit the security vulnerability or dismantle the base. Hack into the system. Yeah, let's go. Hack it. Hack the planet. Looks like we're full on alloy storage. So we might continue to develop that. Keep clearing space. Maybe something like this. We'll keep an eye on this event. The game should nudge me when it's done.
A science ship team has completed a task.
There we go. We hacked the main computer systems and retrieved several relevant research papers and datasets. So now we've got research. Very cool. Dismantle the base. That option's still available to us. Not everything will be, and there are some, you know, the fatal decisions. You can lose crew, and some things are random. Some things require prerequisite equipment or technologies. So, you know, it's all very baby steps at the moment, but it gets complicated before the end. So they're resolving the moon event still. I'm happily just storing the last of the alloy. You can see the little trucks. Now that's always interesting to me. As soon as I allocated it, the trucks appear here and then drive back to deliver. So it's a very strange system. It works, it's functional, but there's no back and forth, right? I'm using my hands. Essentially, they will appear at the lift up point and then bring it home. It's alright. The system works, you just need to understand it. But if you get to a point where, I don't know, maybe you do all your food production in this sector, but you're trying to get food out to one of these other sectors, you do have to consider the logistics chain and the time that it might take to move said food. Base is dismantled. Most equipment was damaged. We were able to press some stuff for extraction. Very good. Now, the science gets extracted by the science ship by just being there. But as far as these resources, what you need to do is, as before, you can see there, 30 steel. It detects what's available in the locale. And that's exactly what's here on the base, on the planet, 30 steel. So if we say, okay, Hermes cargo ship, you are now cleared to go, and you can do priority. But we say you are now cleared to pick up steel, he will dispatch on his own, and he'll just start grabbing stuff under his own steam. Alright, so they want me to collect science and build a tech lab. Docking bay, tech lab. I might just get ahead of myself and build that now. And there's the steel getting unloaded. And you can even see, you can sort of rotate out here and see the ship docking and then undocking. It's very cute. And this layer as well. This is the F2 layer. And this is more for, you can affect upgrades and that from here. And then you can mouse wheel out even further. Wait, no? Okay, whatever. I thought it might go to the F3 map if I mouse wheeled enough, but apparently not. What an absolute fantastic game. And it's great to have an excuse to come back and have a look at it. Alright, so that's building up science there. Now if I recall, bricking yourself on science was a thing. I saw in the patch notes that game mission specific science, like technologies, cost 0 science now. Like I think they've removed the brickable component.
I have an incoming
Look at this.
from DOLOS' head of medicine, Dr.
We've overdrawn our power. Yep, what's going on?
Administrator, due to insufficient levels of electricity generation,
Yep.
Sector 1's power demand has overloaded. Stanford routines recommend that you construct an external...
Let's turn that off for a sec, okay? That might help.
Electrical output.
Sure, build external stuff, got it. And that might be what this is. Reports being received relating to the Bargeville-Klein optimization protocols. Crew members are being overworked. Could be pragmatic to employ additional crew members. Oh, okay, we'll ask the Urshanabi for new crew. And they've offered up 20 crew, but again, as per our deliveries thing, we have to flag this to go get crew. And that will get the crew members from the Urshanabi as well.
Greetings, Administrator. I'm Dr. Abhinav Muchi, DOLOS expert in compartmentalism and medicine, and a member of the Marduk Council. I'm glad to finally meet you, even in this digital manner. Your psychological test results were quite impressive.
Thank you.
My friend and colleague, Philip Stanford, couldn't be here today, so I will take the role of introducing you to the final stages of the whole engine integration. Before we get into that, however, we would like you to complete the testing station's exploration and enhancement capabilities. You'll then be able to begin researching the EVA airlock and assess its compatibility with the Tiqqun's core systems.
Of course, that sounds great.
Our team will ensure that you're equipped to deal with most situations you encounter up there.
Fingers
Before I
crossed.
leave you, Stanford would like me to remind you that space is a far less fanciful and forgiving environment than science fiction would have us believe. It would be wise to remember that.
No, you're not wrong. She's a cruel mistress. So, construct the EVA airlock. And I believe I need to do that by researching. So what we might do is power off this main docking bay. We don't need it so much. We can power this back on. We can have a look at our tech tree, which is cool. It's a bit scary at first, but it's not so bad. It's just tech rings that build out mostly story-driven stuff that unlocks new tiers. A lot of this we've already got unlocked, but you can unlock further upgrades to them. But for now, we just want the EVA airlock research. So we'll just trigger that to go. Look at that, I've managed to clear up a lot of the storage. So the working conditions, I skipped the tutorial then, but that's worth dwelling on because it's a big part of how this game works. Essentially, you can see the sector load here, workers, and they're happy, right? And there's a lot of different components to it, but essentially, workers required for the sector, workers available for the sector. If you overtask the sector, right? So I required 120 workers, but I only had 100. It's going to change the conditions. And what this then starts to do is create a higher case of, a higher chance of like a workplace accident happening. Then you have these systems start to shut down and that because people get stuck in the gears and that sort of thing. So the more you strain your worker pool, the more a compounding snowball death feedback loop will happen. It's really good because that's one of the things that I think will temper people that like base building games is that you want to expand. Everyone wants to plan ahead and build ahead, but the thing is you have to really be careful and deliberate about how you do it without overstraining your workforce. It's good. It makes you stop and think. It controls your pace a little bit. Okay, so where were we? We're going to build this airlock. Oh yeah, look at that. What a perfect fit. So this is the EVA airlock, and while this is more of a shipyard and docking bay, this is so we can... Oh, look at this. You can see the dudes in the little research facility. Hello! You can see the little mechanics here. But this allows them to go out and essentially little spacesuit equivalent things. Sort of like the SUVs from StarCraft in a way, right? Little worker ships to go out and do building on the outside of the ship. Whether it's maintenance or more specifically in this case, we need them to build solar panels. And there's little worker man down there doing his thing. Practicing his drum solo on the wall. So once that's built, we'll be able to stand up external building, which should increase our power supply. Where is our power? Oh, here we go, this thing here. So we've got 10. That's going to draw 12. So I'm actually going to turn the lab off there so we can use the EVA, right? So now if we go to F2... Exterior construction, small solar panel. Now you get a pretty modest boost for very little cost. So they're going to go out here and build some solar panels on here. But you can see as you build them more and more, they kind of get obnoxiously priced. But that's the point. That's how it works. So they're going to load the parts in there, whatever that's called, polymer. And then I don't know, can you actually see them go on their EVAs? I don't know if you can. No. You can see the panel being built though, which is pretty Gucci. That's cool. Nice. So our power draw has gone up significantly, so we probably can turn these systems back on. Or not power draw, our throughput, whatever you want to call it. Finish implementing the Vol engine via the build panel external view, right? So, solar panel set here, but we've got this, and we can build the Vol engine. Hull repair will be temporarily paused. Now that's something that later on becomes the doom timer, I suppose you could say. The structural integrity of the ship through the turn in the story becomes, let's say, compromised. And so you need to constantly pay a repair bill. So you always have to have your EVA touching up the outside. And the more that you open up these sectors and expand the ship and just put general strain on the ship's systems, the more you have to pay for repairs. It's a tax, essentially. That's part of it. Anyway, look, I think I've managed to run out of time going through this. What a great game. Love to come back and look at it. I hope this overview was kind of helpful for people that were curious. Let me know, chuck a comment, that sort of thing. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, all that sort of nonsense that I'm supposed to say at the end of the video. But ultimately, look, yeah, don't sleep on this game. At least wishlist it, but consider picking it up because it's going on the cheap at the moment. Anyway, team, I might just leave it there for the time being, and I will catch you guys on the next one.